Hello, welcome. This is the newspaper review. Thank God it's Friday and it's not just the weekend, it's the 1st of September 2023. Yes, we are into the Ember months, and this month seemed to be like the introduction to the last quarter of the year. And yeah, a lot of people in Nigeria start rushing for one end. We need to meet up. The year is coming to an end. Just play it cool, all right? We still have a lot to do within the last few months of this year. You're welcome. This is where we take the newspaper headlines across newspapers around Nigeria, and we'll get to dissect those headlines. We'll talk about them here on the program alongside you. So join us in dropping your comments and your reactions on the comment section. We want to hear what you think about these headlines right here on the program. And if you haven't connected to us on our social media handles, what are you waiting for? Do well. Start here by subscribing, turn on the notification, and of course, you'll be notified when next we'll come up with a new episode of this program. All right, I'm not alone here on the program. I have Victor Sioko joining me here again.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Hope you're getting ready for the weekend.
Yeah.
All right, that's great to know. All right, let's get into the business of today. Let's see what the newspaper headlines are looking like on our papers for today. All right, we begin with Vanguard newspaper for today, the 1st of September, 2023. And on Vanguard here, we have a headline from the very top part of that paper. We see here, extortion. Truckers pay 40 million naira daily at Lagos Ports Corridor. Page 19, it's where the details of that headline is. We also see here, poor governance responsible for banditry, kidnapping in Northwest Shetima. That's the Vice President speaking. And that story is on page 13. Danger as bandits vandalize Makurdi power pylon. Page 13 is where you get details. Hardship with patience, determination will succeed. Tinubu says bitter pill must be administered to build better future for Nigeria. All right, we're moving to the headliner, the main story on the Vanguard here. It says, coup scare. Sit-tight leaders move against their military. Rwanda retires 12 generals over 800 other ranks. Cameroon reshuffles military. Work on response to Gabon military coup. GOC asks disloyal leaders to leave the Nigerian army. Gabon coup chief to be sworn in as transitional president Monday. ECAS condemns Gabon coup. Why we should wield the big stick on coupists. Tinubu insists nobody is interested in war. Ask Sultan to go back to Niger. Focus on disease that births coup, not symptoms. Atiku tells African leaders. Poverty responsible for coups in Nigeria. In Africa, beg your pardon. And that statement is by Falana. All right. The details of all of that story is on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. We also see, still on the Vanguard, federal government to establish mobile courts on FGM, sexual harassment in schools. Orders, Minister. Page 8 is where details of that story is. Nigeria, UN sign MOUs to tackle terrorism. And lastly, federal government shuts MMIA October 1st, halts Nigeria Air project. Page 15 is where you get details of that story. All right, Victor, let's come to our conversations here. And of course, no doubt, within the last 48 hours, we've seen a lot happening within our continent. And because of the coup in Gabon, we've seen other presidents also react in trying to prevent it from coming to their corridors. And most especially, if we look at these presidents that have reacted in that manner, are presidents that have been in government for more than 3 terms and are still there. So, of course, the fear that, it might happen in my country is beginning to rise, and they are trying to, take measures to prevent it. I'm talking about the main headline here on Vanguard newspapers that says, coup scare, sit-tight leaders move against their military. We've seen the Cameroonian president retire most of his generals, and that of Rwanda too. What do you say to all of these, reactions from different parts of Africa?
So I'll start with saying that it's a shame. It's a shame that these African leaders have refused to make this their seat, the seat of power, to have some elements of fairness and equity. Allow people to come and have taste of this power. Allow people to come in with their ideas. Okay, you cannot be a king forever. Okay, so what's happening in, and I'm very particular about Paul Kagame with his exploits and his good deeds. Why would you be on that power for so long? A country that has suffered genocide, a country that suffered so much that this might also erupt another violence out there in Rwanda. So why can't you? What did he do in 2015? He stretched power. Mind you, he got in, I think in 2000, becoming the president of Rwanda. And look at it, from 2000 to now, we're talking about 23 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Okay? And in 2015, he went and rejigged, I'm not using the word rejigged, will I say, amended the constitution to favor him. That the seat of the presidency was now extended, more like you can now vie for many times. Unlike Nigeria, if you do 4 times for 2 times, you can go anywhere. And unfortunately, unfortunately for Obasanjo, we could have been in this, in a mess like this. If the house back then
they didn't stand their ground.
Yes, if you go and ask Obasanjo face to face, he will be like, I did not send them. But these are things that happen. They go from the back and activate all these things. Look at Cameroonian president. For crying out loud. You are 90 years old. You are the oldest president in the world. The oldest president in the world. And at the same time, you have been president since 1982. I don't think anybody around this vicinity was born in 1982. So even their own, oh God, it's so ridiculous. Disgusting and ridiculous, my brother. That even in Cameroon own, during his 90th birthday, the youths were forced to go and sing. To go and sing in the stadium. They were forced to go and sing. And I still don't understand why that they haven't really protested. How can you be a president? Oh, mind you, he was even a prime minister before becoming a president. He was a prime minister in 1975. So this man has been in power since 1975 till date. And we know that his health is not even intact. Reason why for me, Cameroon is more like a hanging country. You don't, nothing, no innovation, nothing. Cameroon is just there.
Sure.
Then what about Equatorial Guinea? We did not mention about Equatorial Guinea. They've not, we've not heard them from the news. Maybe they are doing their own backyard work. The Equatorial Guinea president is the longest serving president in the world. Mind you, I say Cameroon is the oldest. Okay, but for
Equatorial Guinea,
the longest serving president since 1979.
Wow. It must have been as old as the country.
So just imagine if a coup happens. How will people like you and I, yes, we know that there are some countries out there that they have an interest. They want him to remain there because they are gaining from one thing or the other. Even this so-called Gabon, there are countries out there that are in support of the Ali Bongo's family because they know that they are gaining something from them. So unfortunately, the African presidents keep embarrassing themselves. Okay, and why Nigeria is a unique nation.
Yes, it is.
In as much as we know that corruption and all that, we have our challenges. Nigeria still does not take nonsense. Okay, Nigeria does not take nonsense. I can't even smell that a president, one person has diversified this nation is, and how the ethnicity divide is so going hard or not. How can?
It will not work. It can never work here. And the only attempt by, President Obasanjo, and also remember Abacha too, wanted to do something similar, moving from the military to democratic government, but still him representing himself. And if that had happened, I wonder what would have become.
Survived up to now.
Yeah. So, but then you see all the outcomes from all of these moves by leaders in Nigeria. It hasn't really worked. But then again, I'm not surprised that the Nigerian military is also sending out a warning to members of the military that we urge you all to be loyal. And if you know you cannot keep your loyalty to the government of the present day, please step aside. We don't want any rubbish to go down here. And then again, like we were saying in our last program, the last time we were together on this program, we was talking about how these leaders are calling upon themselves these coups and all of these attacks, because of the way they embrace power. They've held on to powers as though, they claim to be running democratic system of government, but you see that they aren't. They are rather doing something that does not interpret what democracy is. So they are autocrats in the form of in the clothes of democracy, and now people are beginning to stand up, and although not in the fashion in which we all support, because we don't support coups and all of that, it is against democracy. But then, when you look at these situations, I mean, you're almost supporting these military guys to say, all right, good work for really pushing these people out. Enough of this madness. But then again, I would really say that it is high time that these African leaders begin to take responsibility and let power flow amongst other people. Give other people the chance to run this democracy, as it were. But, well, we'll keep our fingers crossed, and we'll hope that we don't see another coup within the shortest time. But Gabon has been, suspended by the African Union. Not just the African Union. Sanctions, of course, are already, moving into that country to try to stop them from continuing in their military attack. But then, let's see how all of that play out for Gabon and Niger. Niger, they're still holding their ground, saying that we're going to continue on this path until we transit into democracy again, after we're satisfied that, yes, democracy will succeed. All right, we'll move on to our next paper for today, and that will be This Day newspaper. And the stories on This Day newspaper from the very top reads, CBN alerts banks on arrest of Nigerian, orders over seizure of fake $1 billion bond for Africa. All right, page 5 is where you get details of that story. And we also see here, Kayamo orders relocation of all flight operations from old to new international terminal in Lagos. And page 17 is where that story is. Ganduje, after failed presidential bid, Kwankwaso turned NNPC to revenue platform. Page 36 is where you get that detail. Interesting fireback from from Ganduje to Kwankwaso. They just don't stop. They just keep going back and forth on each other. All right, we also see right below that, we see Daily Momodu. Wike doesn't own PDP. He can be disciplined, says FCT minister, spews arrogant lies. Don't succumb to despondency. Party urges Nigerians as it marks 25 years. We'll see that story on page 5 of This Day newspaper. To the main headline here, it says, Tinubu seeks the big stick against coupists. Biya, Kagame, reshuffle military hierarchies. All right. Nigerian military wants its men, reiterates loyalty to president. Gabon school, 8th in West Central Africa since 2020, 4 of which were staged by closed guards. Niger junta revokes French ambassador's immunity after expiration of 48 hours ultimatum to leave country. What does that mean? They could, arrest him for trying to intervene in the matter that they've asked the entire world to stay away from. Since he doesn't want to leave. And, they also see French as the cause or the root cause of their problem. So they are saying, we don't want to see your embassy here again. Please go, and we're giving you 48 hours, and that 48 hours is already about to expire. So, well, we just hope they don't provoke, because I don't know whether the French is actually looking for a reason to, probably come in. But then, well, we hope it doesn't get to that. All right, let's look at the story concerning our able Wike. After the interview by Channels News some days ago, where he spoke about how the PDP cannot suspend him, and he went ahead to dare the entire party that he dares them to see the person. He dares to see the person that will suspend him based on the fact that he is the party. Well, we saw that Daily Momodu has also responded to all of that, statements that he put out. And Dele is saying, Wike doesn't own PDP. He can be disciplined. What do you, or how do you react to this story where Dele Momodu is coming out to say Wike can be disciplined, but this is almost 3 days after that interview? Nothing from PDP.
Nothing.
This is not the first time Wike has spoken about the PDP in that manner. And this is not the first time he's daring them. We've heard him say it openly before, that the PDP cannot suspend him. Let's forget about the court injunction he got as a governor to prevent the party from suspending him. But now he's no longer a governor. He doesn't have any court injunction against them, the party. But yet, he has come out again to dare them. And Dele Momodu is here speaking that is, utter rubbish. What's your take?
Well, like Dele Momodu said, he is not the owner of PDP. Actually, he's not the owner. Without him being in the PDP, I think PDP should be able to hold their own.
Yeah, they are actually celebrating 25 years of being in existence. That means they've been there long before Wike even started his political career. Yeah.
Exactly. So when you also check, party politics is about money. And when these executive governors are there, they tend to find ways to siphon money from the people of their state to fund this party. Okay? The reason why Wike is so powerful is because in 2019, there was nobody to really fund this party. Okay? Oh, where do we start from? Okay, now, in 2015, see, the problem of the PDP, I need to even put it on article. Reason. When Jonathan and Buhari were slugging it out in 2015, where was Atiku? Who was part of the founding members? Remember, PDP started in 1998, about this time, 1998. And in 1999, Atiku had become the vice president.
Yes.
So imagine a founding father. From that 1990, you've been there just because of, for me, it's because of greed. Okay? And not being focused to your ideology.
Yeah.
That made you to leave the party. Yes. You left the party because of there was no ticket for you there and you were too desperate. You left the party. Just imagine that Atiku stayed with the PDP. From the time of that Goodluck Jonathan, even if the Goodluck Jonathan lost the election, stayed, you knowing that in 2019
you have a chance.
You have a chance, a better chance, because you stayed loyal, you stayed with your party. Then what happened? That vacuum was created, and Wike sponsored the party, and that was where the division also started too. Remember the days that they had, Wike had to bring the National Convention to Rivers State.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I don't think this is history class, but yes. Well, this is in the spirit of their 25th birthday.
Anniversary, yeah.
They were birthday 25 years ago.
Yeah.
So, and yes, big ups to Ekwueme of blessed memory, who also played a very big part. Yeah. Okay, he was the first chairman of the party, and the secretary, this man from Plateau State, Jerry Ghana, Professor Jerry Ghana was the secretary of the party then. So, and they built this party. And let's not also forget, why did the PDP lose power? PDP lost power in 2015. We cannot also extinguish the fact that rigging has been happening. Whether you are in PDP, any party you are, Nigeria has been a country of rigging during the election. There must be elements of rigging. You cannot take us out from that. Okay? Now, in 2015, you find out that was where they lost it. How did they lose it? Remember, a minority South. I need to call them minority South. Your people, Bayelsa. The minority South were against the Northerners. And you know that the Northerners has been, hey, why are we going back to history? The Northerners has been enforced. They were enforced by the British. We cannot take that away they were given power to rule by the British. Okay, right from the 1914, they were given power to rule. Okay, now you have somebody like Goodluck Jonathan, who there was so much pressure on his head and the party because of what? Corruption. The corruption was too much, Mr. Bule.
Yeah.
The corruption was too much that even Desiani Maduekwe till date has not been convicted. Yes, they say that you are guilty until you are innocent until charged guilty, Abi. But we know what that woman did, not just only her. There are a series of people out there that they were just stealing and nothing was done. Even the ones that finally got convicted, they were released.
Yeah.
So a party that never cared and they were just too arrogant to say that they were going to rule Nigeria for 100 years. Look at it, 25 years. They are
still struggling seriously to try to, get a place.
Yes, and to stay alive.
Yeah, even to survive. Yeah, yes. You're right. Because even internally, the party is not really stable. It's not in a stable place. That's why it's hard to even look at Wike and say, okay, we are suspending a man that somehow is trying to uphold the party. So people like Dele Momodu that has come up to say Wike is not the PDP and this and that and that and that. If Wike wants to respond to him, it will be like, okay, so who are you in the party and what have you been able to do
for the party?
To hold the party. Yes. I have been holding this party down.
Yes.
Good or bad. Yes, I have issues with the party today, but I still haven't left. That's his stance. He says he has not left the PDP because he still believes in the PDP. But that's the fact that they moved against, certain things. In other words, they moved against him in an unfair manner because he looks at it as unfair because at some point he claims that the party was going to zone, the presidential seat to a certain zone and then suddenly switches it to favor one man, which is Atiku. And at the end of the day, still rubbish the zone that it was initially going to go to. So, that's all the grief or the word is the disagreement Wike has with the party. So, well, we are looking at them closely, but then I am really watching what the party would do as regards the dare that Wike has thrown at them and say, okay, it's not enough to respond and start talking. Anybody can do that. What is the party steps? What are the moves by the party to actually put Wike's how would I put it, misbehavior in quotes, because it's an open one now. He said that he didn't go to becoming a minister in Tinubu's government because he wants to go to the APC. Tinubu gave him the chance because of his the fact that he is capable of delivering the job. And he's not the only one that went sourcing for this position. A lot of other PDP members, right from the presidential candidate and all of them, all struggled to get appointments. But he was the one that got through and they should stop and all of that. So we're watching what the PDP will do, and we hope that they begin to uphold their constitution. Wike, yes, he has really contributed to the party, but I think it's really unfair for about the way he goes, trying to rubbish the party and the leadership of the party. I'm not really enjoying that part of it. But if you say it, he will also claim that they first rubbished me. They first tried to make me look as though I'm a nobody in the party. So I'm trying to teach them a lesson. All right, we're going to move on to our last paper. I want to thank you for watching up to this time. But don't go anywhere. We'll still have one more paper to take when we'll come back from this break. Stay tuned.
Hey there, are you looking to record your videos, do your voiceovers and take your professional pictures? Look no further. With our state-of-the-art newsroom, photography, kitchen for our food content creators and exclusive children's studio, we certainly can deliver the best studio experience. Our carefully designed studio space can bring your diverse creative content ideas to life. We aim to consistently serve value to our customers far and wide. Come, let Tharv Media give life to your dreams. Tharv Media, a slice of infotainment.
All right, you're welcome back from that very short break. We're still checking the newspaper headlines here on the Newspaper Review on Top TV. Let's see what the last paper looks like, and that will be the Daily Sun for today, the first day in the month of September 2023. And on the Daily Sun here, we have a headline: Atiku urges African leaders to address causes of coups, not symptoms. Condemns military takeover in Gabon. You see that story on page 6 of the Daily Sun. On the front page of the headliner here reads, federal government suspends Nigeria Air, shuts old Lagos International Airport October 1st. Orders foreign airlines to move to new terminal. Stops Abuja Kano Airport concession. Page 23 is where you get details of that story. We also see here, Wayanwu Ayim orders meet over Igbo Heroes Awards. Page 26 is where the details is. Report: experts brand Naira Africa's worst currency. Report: experts brand Naira Africa's worst currency. Page 2 is where you get details of that story. We also see here, AU suspends Gabon over coup as Cameroon, Rwanda reorganize military. New military leader to be sworn in Monday. Forceful removal of democratically elected leaders unacceptable, Tinubu tells NSCIA. All right, page 6 is where that story is. We also see here, I was not sacked as Delta Governor Oboro Wori. Page 7 is where the details is. All right, that's all the headline I'll be taking from the Daily Sun newspaper. But then, the story of the suspension of Nigeria Air is now on. And of course, the interesting part is that the new minister for aviation, I guess, that's Professor Keyamo. Yeah, he has been showing walking, as we say it. And then right now, he has also ordered the international, travel agencies to move to the new terminal. Yes, the new terminal is excellent, very beautiful, but they say they have one issue, that most of the international flights cannot wait there to or land properly at the new terminal. And that's the very reason why for over a year now, since it was launched, they have not been using that. But kudos to him for the fact that he has gone ahead to, start reconstruction work at the old terminal. But just run over that story for us.
Well, first of all, congratulations to Festus Keyamo. He has his work or hard work paid off for him. And remember, back in the days, he was it Minister of State for Education? Was he Education and what?
I can't remember what he was.
Labor.
Oh, yeah.
Labor.
He was
Labor and
junior minister
productivity. Yes, and he did not like it, and he went to say that the Constitution does not. We are not interpreting the Constitution with respect to Minister of State. That is supposed not to be there. They should just have a minister, and a minister is a minister, something like that. But now, well, he did not get the position of. They did not give him the. Will I say second-tier minister, becoming as in being Minister of State. Now he's a full-fledged capital minister. So congratulations to him. Now to the work itself. Yes, it is highly important that the corridors where international persons come into this country should be good looking. Yeah. Should say good about the country. Okay. The first time I made an international trip, my brother, they brought buckets to put on that because it was raining. The roof were leaking. You see bath or basin. One side you see a bucket with a handle. The other, as in it was just an eyesore. And yes, I laughed over it and all that. But guy, when I go to Abu Dhabi, God,
you thought you were in another universe, not in.
I think the words cannot describe, and it's some donkey years ago. What can't describe the difference between Lagos Airport and the Dubai Airport. So what am I saying? It's something that, it's a good thing that we have another terminal to fall back to while they carry out a maintenance. But I don't know the amount of maintenance they want to do at that airport that will give us a good facelift. See what the kind of airports that newer airports that are being built in the world as Lagos that should be the #1 city in Africa.
Yeah. And but then, if the airport was the responsibility of the Lagos State government, I want to believe that it would
Could have
have
been more
carried a
better, much
better,
better.
look.
But
But right
federal
now,
money
the
now,
federal
yeah.
government is, I don't know how to describe their approach to things. But then this is a new government, the government of Tinubu, and this is a man from Lagos State. And not just a man from Lagos State, this is a man that has been known for excellence, for the way he delivers both projects and his administration. So there's a lot of expectation from this administration. Good thing Festus Keyamo has moved into action. He has moved these airlines to the newly built international terminal. That is, by the way, very, very beautiful. We won't say that it has met, the high international standards that we see out there, but it is something reasonable. We're hoping that they are going to transform the old one to, to some kind of, to come at par with this other one. Let it look something reasonable so that, it is doable. It is very doable, but whether they are going to see that as a priority is what we don't know. Because whether we like it or not, Lagos International Airport is like the #1 gateway for international travelers to Nigeria. That's the #1 international airport. So I don't know why it should be in that kind of terrible state where, the parts of the airports are leaking. So many things are just wrong with that airport.
And touts everywhere. Which one do we, what about the toilet? You want to enter toilets to ease yourself. There are people by the door begging you for money. These are things that, and it's been running over the years. It's something that will looking like it will never stop.
If you forget anything at that airport,
oh my
it's gone.
goodness, God.
You can never get it back. So these are some
a whole lot of reforms for this guy to make.
Yeah.
I don't know whether he can cope, because the devil there is just too much for him to take care of. It's too much, man.
Well, we wish him all the best, but I'm afraid that's how we're going to end the show today. One, thank you so much, Victor, for coming. And to our viewers, thank you so much for watching up to this time. But this is where the show comes to an end. Do well to subscribe to this channel and follow us on all our social media handles. It's the weekend, so make sure you spend some time with family or have fun out there. See you next time.